This is Ted, again from Wandering Light and Dementia Talks. It's been quite a while since the last time that we've had a chance to speak. A lot has happened. I want to share that with you, but I want to share it after a couple of episodes. I have a few things that I want to go over. I want to try to um, get the book and some of our YouTube chats in sync. But I also need to tell you, with my wife, of what's been going on over the last few months and the reason that we haven't really had a chance to cover and have an open YouTube channel together again, and what's been going on with me with dementia and other things. So let's talk today about the denial of dementia. And this is brought about not only because it was in my book, but also because of some of the comments that I've gotten on YouTube and some of the things that I really support from people. And that is one that I think probably my greatest fear over the years has been, because one of my greatest assets was my ability to use my mind to think, to solve problems, to be sharp, and to be on the ball about things. And the idea of not having that because of dementia just frightened me to no end. And I lived with that fear for a lot of years. And then now having dementia, I have to deal with that fear, but I also know that it was somewhat unfounded, and I have to learn how to live with it, right? So that's why I wanted to put off covering what's been going on with me over the last couple of months. I think I want to do that with Christy, but I want to cover this one, which is about denial of dementia, excuse me. And so the first thing that I can share with you around denial is to get early diagnosis. If you have, like I've put out an article and also I think a blog about the 10 most common signs of dementia. And if you're struggling with those and find yourself wondering if you have the onset of early onset dementia, my answer and advice would be to get a competent evaluation by a neurologist, not just the family doctor who does the standard government test of with the clock and the remembering names and numbers and telling a story and that kind of thing. That is not a comprehensive test, and it's certainly not the only test. I want to also remind you that dementia in its full-blown forms is a disease of the brain, and a disease which in many cases has physical damage that can be seen. So, for example, I have Lewy Body Dementia, and in the testing, they check for neurological problems where small strokes that can happen in the brain. They tested for others, but there were physical evidence of damage to the brain, which started, in fact, started the process for me. And it is that physical evidence which is more important than just you think, well, I can't remember things. I got to a corner and I didn't remember which way to turn, or I forgot my car keys, or I can't remember where I left stuff. That's not, that's just standard forgetting things as we age. What I'm talking about is literally forgetting something in the short term if it's something that you like like Lewy body that affects short term memory, that you, no matter how much you try, you can't remember something that happened just a short time ago or a day ago. It's completely lost. Whereas your long term memory is fine, and you can remember things growing up and your family and all sorts of other things. But your short term memory is where the disease is impacting your greatest ability. I know that it's, again, as I said, it's something to be, that bothers a lot of people. They see as they age that they are forgetting things, those kind of things. My advice is don't just smile and carry on. There is a big difference between simply um, losing some of your memory, which is part of aging, and losing whole days and things, and or in the case of Alzheimer's, forgetting people and things and events, and gradually falling into repeating things that happen over and over, etc. Um, so um, the biggest thing then, if there is dementia, is to remember that um, your fear is a form of grief. And that grief is the grief over what you thought you had in the future. Um, for me, I had a sharp mind. Um, I enjoy travel, reading, doing things, and that all of that has been impacted by dementia. And it is that um, fear of losing all of that, those things that you only in your mind planned on doing. They have not happened. They didn't happen. But they create a form of grief, just the same as grief of losing a loved one or a pet or all the forms of grief that we go through. But there are then 6 steps to get through it, right? And cover that in my book. I'll cover it on the website, and I have covered it in another blog. But there are 6 steps of grief that help you get through it, and I've added a seventh, which is getting to acceptance. Right. The goal of all of these things are really to learn to accept your situation. My situation is I have Lewy body dementia plus a couple of other physical issues that we'll talk about later. But learning to accept what you can't change is really the first step. The next step after that is to learn to live positively with it, to have purpose. Even though you can't do those things, find other things that you can do with your limitations and find purpose and find a way to live positively with that. I hope over the years that I've been doing this blog and this YouTube channel that you've seen positive, that I live positively each and every day. Um, and I want to share that with you. So this was kind of my back in the saddle again, and wanting to share some things with you. We'll continue to do this as I promised, as long as I possibly can. And I'm hoping that you'll have a great day, a positive day, and that you'll find, like me, your purpose so that you can wake up in the morning and feel like, hey, God gave me another day, and what am I going to make of it? This is Ted from Wandering Light and Dementia Talks, signing out.